Alright, I am here. I'm here. Hello, hello, hello. So, like the Slate Aspire stream a couple of days ago, I'm still kind of figuring out what I want to stream. Because now that Amori's done, if you missed the ending of Amori, I have the entire playthrough in a playlist on my YouTube, which should be linked in my Twitch description somewhere. But we're here to play some Master Duel because we have a Banlist to react to. Effective from August 31st, so it'll be next season. The upcoming season that'll be starting in like a week or a couple days. So what do we have? Cards to be forbidden. I know this is kind of a belated reaction because a lot of like the big YouTubers have already reacted to this. They're actually addressing some problems here. Celestial is the haha kek W one. Because, you know, DPE is a problem. And Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer is a problem. Verite Anaconda is a problem. But they decided that what they didn't like was people getting to draw to after making DPE. Because the OCG is weird and doesn't like it when people draw cards. The other weird one is Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. Now, I understand why they're hitting this. They're hitting this to hit Rongo. So it's considerably more difficult to make a Rongo with a ton of materials. But other decks use this, right? Other decks use this card. So I don't know, it seems weird. Why not just ban Rongo? Because they did hit some other URs here. So why not just ban Rongo? I guess they're trying to limit how many UR points they're handing out. So Gothic does hit Rongo enough, probably. But the big ones was VFD banned when the order is no longer Imperial, and Vanities, thank God. This is more than most people suspected, right? Because that first Master Duel ban list they released was god-awful. Oh, what are the problems in the game? Oh, Rongo Nemiad, fucking Drytron with free Eva and 2 Ben 10. Fucking Virtual World making VFD. Fucking Adamancer Pair with free fucking Block Dragons and Grass. So what are we gonna do? So this is more than people expected. The BFD ban doesn't affect me because I didn't play BFD in my build of Fluffle anyway. I just felt it was, I just thought it was cope. But it'll be nice not to see that against Virtual World. IO and Emptiness Con is great. Emptiness, losing Emptiness is actually very relevant because Plunder was playing this card. And Emptiness and Plunder is... God, it was so fucking bad. And, you know, the less floodgates that Eldritch and True Draco has is pretty good. Cards to be limited. I'm also noticing they didn't ban Maxi, which let's be honest for a second. Master Duel's never going to ban Maxi. They're just not going to do it. Because Master Duel's primary market is Japan. Right? And so everything is going to be catered towards the Japanese market first, right? So that means that because the OCG is designed completely around Maxi's existence, the OCG metagame is completely designed around Maxi's existence. Since Master Duel's primary market is Japan, like English-speaking players are considered like a secondary priority for Master Duel, right? You can just tell that by the poor state of the translation sometimes. That they want to keep it centered around the card that the Japanese players are more familiar with, right? So I just don't think they're ever going to hit Maxi. Now, cards to be limited. Now, there's some good news and some bad news here. Fusion Destiny is a good hit. But the problem is that Predaplant Parity Anaconda still exists. So, but is this... Is it just mirroring what the TCG did, and just specifically a hit the Sky Striker? Prank Cat's Meow Meow Moo to 1 it's whatever. I guess it hurts Prank Kids' grind game, but Prank Kids have adventure cards. Their grind game is fine. Well, Prank Kids Meow Meow Moo to 1 really doesn't do much when Prank Kids has the adventure line. Honestly, just ban it. Do what the TCG did. Just kill the deck. Now, where it gets sussy, a little sussy omogus, is the cross out to 1, prosperity to 1. For one, prosperity to 1 is just an OCG hit, right? They just don't like pot cards, and they don't like the good pot cards, right? And I guess the problem with prosperity is, I guess they were trying to hit Flunder. But the problem is that Plunder is fine with just 1 Prosby, because they have free duality. They were just running Prosby as essentially duality copies 4, 5, and 6 because they don't use their extra deck. So really, the prosperity to 1 hit hurts rogue decks much more than it hurts Plunder. I think even with free Misk and 2 Ovi, 1 Prosby just outright kills Dinosaur completely. And this Dinosaur was very much a rogue deck in this game, even with free Misk. But the really sussy one is cross out to 1, right? Yeah, but yeah, prosperity to 1 is just a really laughable hit to Flunder, and it's gonna hurt rogue decks more than it hurts Flunder. But cross out to 1 is just, I get it. The OCG limited cross out to 1, right? Because their thinking is that Crossout was played in every deck at free in the OCG, practically. Because Maxi exists, and because the OCG format is very heavy on hand traps. And cards like Crossout and Called by the Grave can be huge blowouts, right? But the issue is that while cross out to 1 might be healthy from the perspective of being blowouts against hand traps, but it feels really kind of ill-informed to limit cross out to 1 in a best of 1 format where Maxi is such a huge part of the game. It also absolutely cripples any cyber strategy. Because decks like Salamangreat, decks like Code Talker, and decks like @Ignister lose incredibly hard to Nibiru. And they lose to Nibiru even harder in a game where Maxi exists. Their only solution for dealing with Maxi into Nibiru on the 5th summon was crossout. It's going to make life really hard, for Ignister especially, with only 1 crossout. Now, I think it's only really bad for Ignister exactly, right? Because I think Code Talker has ways to play around Nibiru still. Because Code Talker, I think, can make some kind of Omni that they can use to stop the Nib, right? Because they can... I think it's like Trigate Wizard that has an Omni that can stop Nib. I'm not sure which card it is that Code Talker has that can stop Nib. Salamangreat has ways to keep playing post Nibiru a little bit, like Jack Jaguar, like Spinny, like Foxy, etc. But at Ignister, if they rock you with Dark Templar, your turn's over. And it feels particularly bad for not having being robbed of 2 copies of an out to Maxi when we literally just received a deck, B-Trooper, that searches it. But that's just my opinion. Now for just something the OCG enjoys quite a lot, while Japan enjoys quite a bit, the semi-limited list. Where they thought that putting Roxy's to 2 was going to stop Adamantipator. Ultrageist Multifaker to 2 from 1. Let's go DZ, I bet Doug is very happy about that one. Gazelle to 2 is interesting. Because they put Gazelle to two copies. The TCG hasn't done that, and I don't even think the OCG has either. Is this the first time that Gazelle has went back to 2? I believe the TCG put Circle to 2, I think. But not Gazelle. But I don't know how much this is gonna do, because Salad just lost 2 copies of Crossout. Fire Formation Tanky to 2 is whatever. It's just another consistency hit to try Zoo after they Fractal hit. It just makes it a little less likely that they'll open one of the 2 cards at the starter for Tri Brigade. And then Skill Drain to 2 is just such a... I guess they didn't want to ban pre-Floodgates, Because they banned the IO and they banned Vanities, which were much bigger problems than Skill Drain, to be fair. But Skill Drain to 2, why not just put it to 1? Just put Skill Drain to 1. With it at 2, they're still going to draw it pretty often. And it's still going to be annoying to out. So, I would have just put it to 1. I don't know why they put it to 2. I guess so a Floodgate deck will have a chance that their first skill drain gets popped. And then Unlimited is Night Assailant. It has an errata. So this is just Unlimited Night Assailant with its errata, so. And that'll do it for that. I think this is really interesting. It's a lot better, because most people just expected nothing after Roxy to 2. Fucking. It's fine if Adamant's Predator has free block dragon if you make it so they can't play the third Roxy and can't play the third Analyzer. But that is my Banlist reaction. I mean, I am kind of excited for the next season with no more Plunder with Vanities, and no more, and less Floodgates at Elblitz's disposal. So, it's less, you feel less forced to run as many back row removal, and you can run more hand traps, probably. But then, hand traps might be more of an issue now with less copies of outs, like cross out, but thankfully we still have 2 Called by the Grave, so it doesn't matter that much. Unless you're a deck that really needed cross out, like again, like I said, Cyber's decks that needed it to not die to Nibiru. But let us play. Let us play.